But if you look for something more long-term, more stable, Dubai would be the place to go.
Well, I hope it's not too risky because I don't want to lose the property.
You've got your own unit there, I know.
that I bought in Ras Al Khaimah. As soon as I mention that, you're going to have all these people.
What's your
messaging
percentage on return per year?
So it's
The water's like bath water.
Yes. So you find in those months, so that value will only be there once that project hands over.
Which leads me to another thing, capital appreciation.
Dubai or Ras Al
Dubai.
Khaimah? Okay, I love Ras Al Khaimah.
Of course you are.
Yes.
But,
So Tien, one of the questions we've been asked a lot lately is, should I invest in Dubai or should I invest in Ras Al Khaimah? Now, while Dubai is one of the most attractive investment opportunities for all keen investors, there's a lot of hype lately and there's a lot of talk about Ras Al Khaimah. Today, I want to compare the two of them and get your thoughts on what investors should look at, whether it's Dubai or Ras Al Khaimah.
the answer, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It all depends on your strategy, your budget, kind of what your criteria is, and what are you kind of hoping to achieve in a short period of time or a longer period of time. So if you want, we can break it down.
I think let's break it down into more simpler terms for your basic investor. So if I were to come into the UAE and I had a budget of less than $1 million, where do you think I would invest? Do you think I would put that money more into Dubai or more into Ras Al Khaimah?
So my thoughts would be Ras Al Khaimah, you will never find something under $1 million anymore. The one bedroom starts at 1.65 upwards, whereas Dubai, being a lot bigger, more flexible market, you'll be able to find some options there. But when you look at Ras Al Khaimah, there was almost $9.5 billion put into the casino alone. So when you look at the hype, this is going to be the first casino in the Middle East, which means it's a little bit speculative, in my opinion. You can make great returns or not so much. It all depends. It's a more of a riskier investment, in my opinion. I've seen the island. I've seen how it looks like. It's fantastic. The projects are luxurious. They're beautiful, but they're pricey. So the prices has grown exponentially over the last few years, but I don't have a lot of data to back it up from 5 to 6 years ago, which in Dubai I do. So with statistics, I would think Dubai would be a better option if you're looking for a safer investment. But if you're looking at spending 2 million, 3 million, places close to to a casino, I think Ras Al Khaimah is going to be your best bet. But if you look for something more long-term, more stable, Dubai would be the place to go.
Well, I hope it's not too risky because I don't want to lose the property.
You've got your own unit there, I know.
that I bought in Ras Al Khaimah.
You've got a 2-bedroom.
But I do agree with you in a lot in terms of the risk aspect. And I do agree with you in terms of like starting points, especially on Marjan Island and near to the casino. What I found in Ras Al Khaimah is that you have many different developers, some which are quite well established, and you have many that are not very well known. And in my opinion, you need to be a bit more educated there because there's so much hype that's going on in Ras Al Khaimah. So for example, if you were to get an apartment on Marjan Island, there are many apartments that sell that they may have beach access or access to beaches, but a lot of them don't. So, if you were looking for something that would get you the return on your money, you'd need to actually focus with someone that knows Ras Al Khaimah, knows the island, knows that it's basically divided into 3 suburbs or 3 areas. And those are the areas that you buy into. And for me, I love certain aspects of it. I love that you can get a beachfront or a short walk to the beach at a relatively affordable price. But I think in terms of, especially in the line of work that you do, is if you're going to purchase off-plan in Ras Al Khaimah, you really need to know what you're talking about and speak to a broker like yourself that knows all the developers, because there's developers.
Informed representation is incredibly important, not just in Ras Al Khaimah and Dubai as well. But if you're looking in the mainland, the pricing are fantastic. But as soon as you get on Al Marjan Island, prices just skyrocket. Everybody wants to be close to that, like all-important casino, Wynn Resort opening up.
Yes. I mean, Wynn Resort is the main draw card. However, there's so many 5-star hotels. The hotel industry is booming in the whole area. So you've got all of these big brands that have come into Ras Al Khaimah. You've got Imar, you've got Ellington, you've got many other.
Majority of the ones here goes there as well. Yeah.
Yes, almost everyone is having almost like a flagship property on the beachfront that has all the amenities that you get in Ras Al Khaimah. And I think because of that, there's many opportunities. I think something that I'd like to talk to you a little bit today also about is what I've seen there in terms of with my investments is, should I purchase in secondary or should I purchase in the primary market? And what are some of the differences between purchasing in either market? I think a lot of people that go to Ras Al Khaimah, they just don't have the correct idea. They don't know it.
Yeah.
So when they go there, they go in very blind and they don't know the market. And I think you need someone with experience to kind of hold their hand a bit. The whole system, the whole process is a bit different to Dubai.
Yeah.
And there are some great opportunities, but there are also projects which I don't believe you'll get your return on your money spent.
Yeah. Especially with the prices has increased like they've done over the past 2-3 years.
100%. For myself, I see Ras Al Khaimah, you've got a wonderful amount of projects that have this ultra luxury, and then you've got some very affordable, and you don't have a lot in between on Marjan Island.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of developers that kind of misinterpret themselves as though they're ultra luxury or luxury, but they're really very far from it.
Yes, their reputation, what they've done in the past, wasn't that ultra luxury. So how can you depend on that quality coming forward in their project?
Exactly. Oh. And a lot of things about, especially Marjan Island, is the majority of those plots, they're not directly on the beach.
No.
So a lot of these small developers, or a lot of these developers that sell themselves as ultra luxury, but they don't have direct beach access. But because of the hype of Ras Al Khaimah, is they're trying to sell themselves at a price point which is near to these ultra luxury developers, but without everything that comes with
proof
it.
to back it up.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, there's not a lot of flexibility with payment plans in Ras Al Khaimah, is what I've seen. Or like, compare that to Dubai, you can get a 2080. 2080 is 20% deposit. There's no payment needed until handover, and your mortgage lasts 80%. It's so much flexibility compared to Ras Al Khaimah, where I doubt you're going to get a 2080 payment plan. And if you do, it's fantastic. You'll get it sold out in a couple of days. I also find in Ras Al Khaimah, the closer you are to the entrance of the Wynn Resort on Al Marjan Island, the exorbitant the prices goes up. So everybody wants to stay close to that entrance. Whereas I've seen Nikki Beach with Aldar on the entrance of Ras Al Khaimah, Al Marjan Island is beautiful. It's a family resort, looks gorgeous, amazing amenities. So there's so much variety in Ras Al Khaimah right now on the island itself, but when you look at the mainland, there's not so much going on. At this point in time, when I look at what's available, you get here and there, Ellington there, something here, but it's not the diversity that you have on the island itself.
Yes, I think, a lot of people have this misunderstanding is that if I buy in RAK, I get a fantastic price point. But if you're buying right next to the Wynn Casino on Marjan Island, often that price point, that's equivalent to Dubai pricing.
Yeah, completely.
And people don't understand that. And, they're paying, there's a term in real estate saying that you pay for your neighbors. And if you want to be next to one of the largest 5-star hotel resorts, you're going to pay the rate of staying next to that location. But especially when it's a high-end developer, is that you will pay the same rate regardless where you are in the world.
Correct.
So Ras Al Khaimah has a lot of other benefits that you can get in terms of the business licenses, business setups. That creates appeal for people to move there and to purchase these properties, and of course the biggest one being the casino. But I think a lot of people also only focus on Marjan Island, and you've also got next to Marjan Island, I think on Google Maps it's like a 5 to 8 minutes drive, and they're even building a bridge that connects to Al Hamra Village.
Side, yes, yeah.
And Al Hamra Village is a completely different community. It's a bit
very
more
well priced as well.
Very well priced. It's more of a family-orientated community. It surrounds the golf club and the ocean. So just down the road from Al Hamra, you've got Mina Al Arab. And to me, like Ras Al Khaimah is these three communities. And a lot of investors, they don't know that. They just know Marjan Island.
Yeah.
but they don't know Mina Al Arab, they don't know Al Hamra. And I think those three, they make up the areas which we sell in. And you were mentioning these outlying areas, and we don't really touch that as a company, because as you get to RAK City, obviously you lose the luxury aspect.
It's more isolated as well.
More isolated.
Don't have that close beach access.
It just comes down to a price point, really, when you go outside of the city. But in terms of Ras Al Khaimah, and I think one of the things that give it the appeal to me is what a lot of people don't realize is when they look at Abu Dhabi or when they look at Dubai, the city is huge. I mean, Abu Dhabi is a very big city in terms of space. And with all these developments launching, there's so much land for these developments to grow into. But really, when you're looking at Ras Al Khaimah, you're looking at these three communities.
Yes, and all focusing on the casino.
Yes, and I think the funny thing is, if you had to combine those three communities, they're probably about the same size as Dubai Hills.
Yeah.
So it's quite funny because whenever you look at supply and demand, that's ultimately what drives price. So sometimes for me is, buying into a smaller community, it often holds the price a lot better. I'll give you an example of one of the properties I bought. I bought it just before kind of the last price increase.
Yeah.
And in 6 months, I got a 30% increase in terms of the value of that property. It has slowed down a bit now, but in Ras Al Khaimah, what I see now is an opportunity, especially on the secondary, not only the off plan, but on the secondary, there's a lot of opportunities where you can buy in and you can get maybe a older project and you can do a slight renovation because it's 5 minutes from Al Marjan Island. It's still actually very much in demand.
Yes, and secondary price points are a lot better than the off-plan price points in that area.
Yes, massively. I think this year, my sisters actually bought and sold around 6 of the villas, which are around 5 minutes outside of Marjan.
And how much were those villas?
Well, she bought them at a great price. She done really minor renovations, and she flipped them all. I think each villa, she flipped it within 6 months, and she made great profits. So if that's your focus, I think Ras Al Khaimah has a bit of everything. What I'd like to say is that it's not all about Marjan Island. Yes, there are great developers on Marjan Island, but there's also these great developers that are right around the corner in Al Hamra. They just down the road in other developments. So it shouldn't be that an investor, if an investor speaks to an agent that doesn't know what they're talking about, they're just going to take them to Marjan Island and show them the one development that they know. Yeah. But there are a huge amount of projects and a huge amount of developments that all kind of cater for like a different lifestyle. Like I've got, for example, an old client of mine. The one place he didn't want was Marjan Island because it didn't appeal to his beliefs and all of these things. So he took just around the corner from Marjan Island where he got a newer project that was a great quality and 5 minutes drive. They're even offering some great community projects. For example, is if I go downstairs from my apartment, I can take a little boat that will take me to the golf club and then will take me directly into the casino. So for me, it's quite unique because every time friends come to visit me, we go on the boat and we go to the golf club, and that boat will then be going to the casino.
It's a great amenity, bro.
Yes, it's a great amenity. But I think all communities, you can't miss the casino.
No, it's almost done, actually.
It's huge. It's massive. It's a lot of Ras Al Khaimah is built around it. So wherever you go, whether it's on Marjan Island or 5 or 10 minutes outside of Marjan Island, is basically all roads lead to the Wynn Casino.
Yeah.
Whether it's a bridge, whether it's a road, whether it's a boat, whether it's a drone that can pick you up and take you there.
I've got a question, because every great representative, when it comes to dealing with developers for their client, you need to be transparent. You need to say the good and the bad, the pros and the cons. Now, I know we've been discussing a lot of pros with regards to Al Marjan Island. Now, if I have to give a downside to all of this, I would think this hype is fantastic and you will guaranteed make a lot of money the year the casino opens. But I do know that the UAE is giving some time for RAK to grow as an economy with the casino being there. But there is also speculation of plans of a casino coming in Abu Dhabi and in Dubai eventually, which would mean there would be 3 instead of 1 right now. So that would be, if you're looking at a long-term investment, Al Marjan would always be fantastic. That beach access you cannot replace it. If you compare it with Dubai's beach access, it's still very well priced because there's no more space next to the beach in Dubai. So if you would say anything that's a downside, a negative to Al Marjan, what would it be?
Well, I think a negative to Marjan, honestly, in my opinion, is a lot of the hype that's going on, because there are some fantastic projects on Marjan Island that I really believe in, but there's also a lot that I don't believe in. Just like in Dubai, where there are a lot of projects I really believe in, and there's a lot that I don't. So for me, it's like, yes, this hype, it's driving the price up, but I think it just means that you need to have, you need to deal with a more educated broker, because of this hype, is a lot of buyers are being misled in terms of what they should purchase. Fantastic. I think the hype it's a double-edged sword. It's got a great aspect in terms of the prices going up, but the poor aspect is that you have some projects that I don't believe in, but because of the hype, they're selling out anyway.
Yeah.
That's why you need to, I think, in my opinion, be a little bit more educated when you deal in Ras Al Khaimah. What might be a bit difficult for people is that Ras Al Khaimah is developing. So if you go there now, you'll see that there's a lot of work on the roads, there's a lot of work on the infrastructure. What used to take you 5 minutes, now taking you 15 minutes, although it's not like Dubai where it takes you half an hour or 45 minutes. But there's a huge amount of work being done. So if you're purchasing property in Ras Al Khaimah, you have to kind of have this vision of what it's going to be worth in 2 years' time, what it's going to be worth in 3 years' time, and 5 years' time.
Yeah.
So you have to have that foresight. So for me, basically, the hype is a good and a bad thing. And I think right now, all the work that they're doing on infrastructure, it is a good thing for the future, but right now it's a little bit tough to deal with.
Yeah, I think when the casino is going to hand over, we can guarantee a fantastic return. I mean, there's no opinion here. It is a guarantee. Whatever happening in the world, that area will climb in value. But what I don't know, and a big question mark, is what's going to happen in 5 years from now. Because once it's established, once the hype has been through and the people's been there, visited, we don't know kind of what's going to happen in the next 5 years. And that's kind of where knowledge on the market comes in. But when you look at a developer, there's a certain things that your representation needs to be able to know. What is each developer's reputation? What have they done in the past? The people staying in their prior projects, were they happy? If you look at Google reviews, how many projects have they done? Were they on time with their projects? All of these things make sense. That's why I would think reputation needs to give justice to the price point with these projects coming into the market, especially when you're paying 2 million for a one bedroom. It needs to be a justification. And reputation is what makes sense. And that's what I would expect any broker dealing with a client needs to first and foremost inform their client on what would be the reputation and all the facts going along with it.
Yes, 100%. I think in terms of everybody brings up the point, the casino, and then what happens when Abu Dhabi opens a casino, what happens when Dubai opens up a casino. And, that's all speculation. There are some rumors that Dubai and Abu Dhabi, when it gets past 2030, that they might be eligible to open a casino. But we don't know that. We don't know if it's just talk. But however, Ras Al Khaimah does have a few years advantage, and the Wynn is incredibly huge.
Yeah.
Also, I think one of the clever things that the UAE has done is each city really has its own draw card.
Yeah.
So you'll find with Ras Al Khaimah is that you have a lot more nature, you have the mountains, you have a lot more activities. It's maybe a bit more
alcohol.
You can buy alcohol. It's a bit more family oriented also.
Much more.
So where Dubai is kind of, everybody knows about Dubai, but Abu Dhabi has its draw card, Dubai has its draw card, and Ras Al Khaimah has its own draw card. So I think even at a stage, if they open up a casino in Abu Dhabi, if they open up a casino in Dubai, I don't think it's going to be as big as the Wynn, and I think that Ras Al Khaimah will be a completely different experience.
Yeah,
and
this is very true.
Yes, people are going to go there for the experience.
It's 40 minutes away from Dubai. So, I mean, it's not that far. It's how you would most probably drive to work in the morning if there was traffic.
40 minutes away from Dubai, and then also in the future they're going to have train lines that will go there. You'll be able to get a drone from Dubai to Ras Al Khaimah. So everything's going to be interconnected. So I really look at all three of them playing off of each other, and all of them having their own Drawcard. But yes, with these opportunities, you need to know some of the things that come along with it. And I think a few things that I'm going to touch on just before we go, because we're just talking about Marjan Island, we're just talking about the investment options there. And as you know, we've actually got our own little office on Marjan Island, which is beautiful on the beach. Beach access. Everyone's really jealous in Dubai because you literally sit in the office and you look at everybody tanning on the beach. So it's a wonderful little office there. But as we become more established in Ras Al Khaimah, we found that, just like I was saying before, you've got Mina Al Arab, you've got Hamra Village, and you've got Marjan Island. Now, for me is that if an investor wants to do a bit more work, if they want to find a deal, just as if you were in Dubai, you would buy a villa in Springs, the alternative would be that you would buy a villa in Al Hamra, and then you'd renovate that villa and you would sell it.
Villa in Springs would be 4 million or 5 million minimum, whereas Al Hamra would be 1.5.
Maybe a bit more than 1.5.
Yeah,
2 million. I think. For the two bedrooms, you'd probably be around that price point. But
good luck finding a 2-bedroom villa in Springs.
Yes. I think they somewhere crazy. I might be wrong, or we might be outdated with this video. But I don't think you can get anything in Springs for less than 3 million, 3.5 million.
Agreed, yeah.
For a tiny 2-bedroom that's 20 years old. So, if you had to compare, that same investor that would buy a villa in Springs and renovate and sell it would be very interested in buying a villa in Al Hamra, renovating and selling it. That same investor that's looking at something more modern in Talal Gap with the waterfront might look at the villas in Mina Al Arab, being more modern and larger and being somewhere near the waterfront. But you do get that whole aspect, that whole different feel. I mean, where the apartment that I recently got, I got it at a great deal, but it is an older building. But
how much you pay for it?
I don't want to say that because I can't get that price again. So as soon as I mention that, and I did buy it a year ago, so as soon as I mention that, you're going to have all these people.
What's your percentage on return per year?
So I think on rentals, I make around 12% ROI.
That's massive. That's more than the majority of the Dubai options you're going to find.
Yes, and
you bought it for a great price as well.
Yes, I got it for a great price, and it had a great view. It looked onto Marjan Island, but it's exactly 8 minutes away from the casino, and it also, has a view of the water. And basically, I did a few minor changes to the apartment, and that increased the value quite a lot. So I think there's a lot of opportunities in Ras Al Khaimah where you can purchase something that's a little bit outdated, like if you purchase in the Springs, and you can do a minor renovation. And right now with the market, everybody wanting a turnkey solution. If you take a property that's a bit bigger and you do a minor renovation, it's quite easy to
create a lot of
quite
value.
Easy to flip that property and sell it. Looking at the off plan now in terms of RAK, there are some ultra luxury projects.
Price points are ecstatic.
Price points are crazy. So for me is that, I came in on a much lower budget. So what I did is I took an older property, I did a minor renovation, and because the price points were so high on these ultra luxury properties, is mine was really fully occupied for a long time because it looked similar but was at a much cheaper price point.
You do get your quiet times during Iraq as well. I mean, summertime, there's not much going on because it's too warm to go outside. So I'd reckon short-term rentals would be the ideal goal for Ras Al Khaimah as opposed to a stable rental income per year.
Yes, it's a bit more difficult because you find...
As opposed to Dubai being all year round.
Dubai is all year round. So even Dubai, June, July, August, is still very busy. Where you find Ras Al Khaimah, it's like Dubai 15 years ago. June, July, August, everyone leaves Ras Al Khaimah. So it's
water's like bath water.
Yes. So you find in those months, it is very tough. And especially if you're doing short-term rentals in that June, July, August period.
You make up for your deficit.
You're going to be very quiet during that period. But I do think as soon as the casino opens, it will become...
it's going to be all year, 100%.
All year round.
Especially, I think, for a year or two at least, straight.
Yes.
Because that hype is going to stay there. This is going to be for a couple of months. It must be going to be for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Giving Marjan the opportunity to grow its economy up its numbers in tourism, and then only I would think there would be
Yes.
talks of a move somewhere else, another casino.
Right now, if, in my opinion, if you were going to buy an apartment in Ras Al Khaimah, it would be a 2-year hold. That, you know, you wouldn't want to sell that within the next
Yeah.
couple of months. I think if you hold that apartment for a bit more longer, you know, 2 to 3 years, is that you'll make a great return on your investment. The casino will open, the infrastructure will all be there. If you're wanting to make fast money in RAK, I think it's very difficult to do that now on the off-plan market, because right now on the off-plan, a lot of people are waiting for projects to be handed over.
Yeah.
So that value will only be there once that project hands over.
Which leads me to another thing, capital appreciation. I think capital appreciation in this time in Marjan right now is not there. It's already appreciated to the point you're not going to make more value buying an off-plan project until the casino hands over. If you're paying 2 million for a one bed, then you need to there needs to be just a hold on. I wouldn't spend more than 2 million on one bed in Al Marjan right now. I mean, it might grow, but it's going to grow a lot slower than what it has been in the last year. Obviously, the casino is that big. Who knows what's going to happen when the casino is out and operating? Because it's going to draw the whole world to that area. But rental income, fantastic. You'll be getting it. But now buying an off-plan, I don't think you're going to have the growth that you want until the casino opens. Then who knows?
Well, I think a lot of these off-plan options, because it's ultra luxury, it's geared around that casino.
niche.
So it's priced at that point for that person who wants to be near to the casino,
Yeah.
that wants to be near to all of those. So why would they sell at anything less? You know, this is what a lot of people also don't realize. Like, you know, a lot of investors is to get a great deal is that there are so many people that want to purchase right next to that casino. That is the price point next to the casino. And if you want something that has a name brand, there's not a discount or a discounted fee that you can get on their product. It's you're paying for location at the end of the day. And you know, if you can't pay that price, you might have to look for something a bit older in the secondary. And you know, these are the two options that you have. But when people look at Ras Al Khaimah, they look on the portals and then they see a secondary property advertised at X price. They think they can negotiate it with the developer. But one thing that the developers are giving, which I will state, is that if you take an older project in Ras Al Khaimah, is generally you don't have the facility. You don't have a lot of the things where all of these new projects, because they're more geared to that ultra prime and that very high-end network, is that you have the facilities, you have the amenities, you have the facade of the building that is not an old facade. You have all these other aspects that you're paying for.
I'm looking at price points right now closer to the entrance, and I see, I'm not going to mention names, but like 484 square feet studio apartment going for 3 million dirhams, where the one bedrooms going for 7.9 million.
Yes.
1,100 square feet, which is above average, but that price point.
Well, a price point hurts a lot of people. I think what a lot of people look at is, okay, I can buy in this very high-end, this very unique property for 3 million. I can also get an old building which is 15 years old, maybe a little bit dilapidated, that doesn't have the facilities, and that starting price point will be 600,000.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between the 3 million and the 600,000, and it's a completely different client.
Completely.
That's going to take each one.
I'm just trying to get to the point where you want to buy a studio by the entrance of Wynn Resort for 3 million, where you can get a townhouse in Dubai for 3 million for the same amount, or even a 3-bedroom on the top floor overlooking the whole of Dubai with a fantastic return. It's just I struggle to see the pros buying a studio for that price when we are still looking at an island that is developing, not already structured and settled.
Well, I think that's where the broker comes into play. You know, you might find that the studio at that price, that's in a specific project where people will only consider that project because it's a brand and it's a brand that they know. So it's priced at that price point of that brand. And you have the same thing in Dubai where, you know, you can get a one bed for 12 million, or you can get, you know, all of these different projects that have their brand and their brand identity, and that determines their price point.
Yeah.
And the one funny thing is, you know, in Ras Al Khaimah, you know, like like you said, is that you can get a studio for 3 million. You can also get a studio for 600,000. You can also get a studio for 1.5 million. You can also get a studio for 2 million. Now, each of them are a different project, a different brand, a different identity. And
If you find a studio for 600K, I'd buy that right now.
well, you can't get it from a developer. You can only get something like that in the secondary market. And then what will happen is that you will purchase in a building that is above 10 years old. And that building might not have beach access. It
Older
might have beach
amenities,
access.
older construction material,
Yes, so
not the quality they have today.
you have to make a decision is, am I going to purchase an older building? Am I going to spend a little bit of money and refurbish that? Because one thing I found in Ras Al Khaimah is people want luxury there now. So, if you purchase an older building, you're going to have to do some sort of a renovation.
You're also aiming at the 0.5% of the market if you aim in that. It's like you have such a small niche market to purchase in that area for that price. But it's far and few in between. You're not going to sell out very quickly if I look at stuff.
Yeah.
And they have been available for the past 8 months. There's been inventory in this specific project, of course. Other ones sells out within a day or two.
Yeah. I don't think there are any developers, and you can point me in the right direction, but there's no projects, if you want a new project, there's no projects handing over in Ras Al Khaimah that doesn't have an entry price of less than 1.4 in terms of for like one beds. I think that's pretty much the entrance, maybe 1.3, 1.4, and that's for kind of, a better developer, and maybe for the developers that you don't have beach access, they aren't known, maybe you can get something a bit less than that. So
I've got Unistate is a developer. They're not one of the most top tier, but they got price points at about 1.56 for a one bed starting, and they still have a few stock left. So there would be price points, and it's not too far to the entrance either. So if a guy really is informed and you speak to someone that knows the market, then those options can be found and bought. I mean, the payment plan is not bad either. So it's good options. You just need to, like I said, have an informed representation.
We've got a little fun game here. It says Quickfire Round. Basically, I'm going to ask you questions. You're just going to choose which one, and you can do the same with me. So, Dubai or Ras Al Khaimah? Okay, I love Ras Al Khaimah.
Of course you are.
Yes.
But let's say ready or off plan.
For me, ready.
Okay.
And for you?
Off plan, mate.
Off plan. You're the off plan guy.
Of course, off plan, always.
Yes. Apartment or villa?
There's so much variations to this question, but I would think most probably an apartment. In Ras Al Khaimah, villa.
I love villas.
Yeah,
I always choose villas.
Capital appreciation or rental yield?
For me, I go for capital appreciation.
Okay. Which I would think Ras Al Khaimah is already capped out until the casino opens. All right.
And you, which one? Capital appreciation or
I would do rental yield. If I had a long-term investment, rental yield, a good rental yield is going to give more sustainability. You don't really know what's going to happen with appreciation rates, depending if you're very well versed in the area and the community, what's going to happen in the future. But rental yield would be my choice.
Okay. Last question. What's one thing investors should never ignore?
Past statistics. Dealing with informed representation that can present you with past statistics on the area you're looking at. And also, developers wants to look, not developers, clients, when they want to look at one project at a time. It's not about the project, it's about the area. Look at the area. Once you have the area, then you can start looking at your projects. That would be my way of
You've got to look in the past to see the future. Eh?
Indeed.
And I think that's basically all from myself. I don't know if you've got any...
So what's one misconception that people have about off-plan?
What's one misconception? I think the biggest misconception is everybody thinks they're sitting on a gold mine where, with off-plan, it's actually, you have to make a very much, I think, a more educated decision in off-plan than what you do in secondary.
Yeah.
In secondary, you can see, touch, and feel whatever you're buying. But in off-plan, there's so many variable factors, and that the opportunity might be higher to get a better growth of your profit in that property. But if you're dealing with the wrong broker, if you're purchasing the wrong investment, you might also make a loss.
So if you are looking to invest, whether it's in Marjan Island or Dubai, informed representation I cannot state that enough. So if you're looking, and if you want to have a full spectrum outlook on what your decision is going to look like, please contact us. at Paragon Properties. We'll be happy to assist, and we will show you why not just investing in that project, but investing your time in us will be beneficial in the long run.
Please, if you can like and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next episode. This is Dean Schroeder, CEO of Paragon Properties. Have a great day.
This is Tian Fik, off-plan specialist at Paragon Properties. Thank you for your time. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Lovely sitting with you, man.
Till next time.
Lekker Dino.